Hi, I'm Mike Butler.
And I'm Mike Field.
And welcome to Forgotten Cinema Lead Up. Each episode, we highlight a film from a popular series and follow it all the way to the most recent release. We'll discuss what we love about the movie, or maybe don't love about it, but we'll always recommend you revisit it, even the not so good ones. Let's get into it.
What's up?
Nothing much. As you know, after the events of Woodsboro haunted me and my sister, me and my friends and my sister, we all moved to New York City, where my sister is attending college, and I'm apparently just super paranoid and locking the doors and making sure she's safe. But don't you know it? The terror of Ghostface, much like Sidney Prescott before me, is just following me all around, and I can't get away from it. There's a group online that thinks that I'm a killer and that Richie was actually a victim, and that I killed him as a murderer, and it was all my plan. And that really upsets me. And now there's a new Ghostface going around murdering people, murdering my friends in New York City, and it's starting to piss me off. And I'm starting to think maybe, just maybe,
trying to murder your friends.
Trying to remember my friends. I might end up becoming Ghostface later, but probably not, because I'm probably going to get fired. But maybe I'll be Ghostface.
That's right. We have found our way to the end of our lead up series to Scream V1, Scream 6. Let's we'll get right into the facts and then we'll get right into the discussion. So let's not waste any time, because this is the longest Scream out there. I don't even remember what's the second longest. So Scream 6 has a runtime of 122 minutes. Rated R, production budget of $35 million. Came out on Friday, March 10th, 2023, an early March release. So we're almost on the anniversary as we record this of this release, the 3-year anniversary. So the weekend it did $44 million. Its domestic take was $108 million. Its international take was was 58 for a worldwide total of $166 million. So, movie still does well. This franchise is still kicking. That's why you got a new one coming out, and that's why they already approved the 8th one. People like it.
Never gonna stop.
I mean, good. Anyways, production company was Paramount Pictures, Spyglass Media Group, Project X Entertainment, and Radio Silence Productions. That's obviously because we have the same team that's coming over here from Scream 5 to Scream 6, and it was distributed by Paramount Pictures. So I said it came out on the 10th of March, excuse me. Let's go back a week to the 3rd, where you had wide releases of Creed 3, Operation Fortune, Ruse de Guerre, I probably effed that up, Hunt Her, Kill Her, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, To the Swordfish Village. Welcome to the post-pandemic releases. And then you had limited releases of The Children of the Corn, which I forgot that they remade, and the Donor Party. I mean, I imagine you saw Creed 3. I mean, right?
We saw Creed 3 together, yeah.
No, I wasn't. Did we see it together for?
Yeah, we did. We went right to a regular public showing at night.
Yeah, because I wasn't working there. Were you?
It might have been right before. That might have been the year I left.
Gotcha. The weekend that this film came out, Scream 6, it went up against in a wide release 65, the Adam Driver in
V Dinosaurs movie.
Yeah. And Champions, it's a Woody Harrelson film. And then limited release that week of The Magic Flute. And then the week after, you had wide release of Shazam! Fury of the Gods. That's the second one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the good one. And then limited release of Moving On and Inside. I was not a fan of the second Shazam. All right, so this film has a lot of returning cast and crew. So we'll start with the crew, obviously. Our directors have returned from Scream 5, Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett. If you remember last time, I talked about how they did Abigail, Devil's Due, Ready or Not, the new one and the previous one, and then they're attached to the Mummy 4. By James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick. Vanderbilt's done Zodiac, Family Youth. Busick's done the previous Final Destination Bloodlines. He's also part of the TV show Castle Rock. Cinematographer was Brett Jokowitz, who's done The Black Phone and Ready or Not. Composer was Brian Tyler. He's back. He's joined by Sven Volkener. Tyler's obviously on the TV show Yellowstone and Escape Room. Faulkner has done Psycho Killer, which has just come out, which I hear is not good. And Ready or Not, Here I Come, which is coming out. It's got like a 0% on whatever. Tomatoes. Wow. Edited by Jay Pritchett, who's done the TV show Snowpiercer and the TV show Orphan Black, which I'm a fan. All right, so we don't have as many returning characters from the legacy. Because obviously, if you hear with Screams 5, you know that one of them didn't make it. And the other one, Nev Campbell, they didn't want to pay. So we do not have Sidney Prescott in this film. This is our first Sidney Prescott-less Scream and probably our last, I would imagine, since she's not producing them. Courtney Cox returns as Gale Weathers. You have Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega returning as playing Sam and Tara, respectively, from the last film. Barrera has been in the Heights, Abigail. Ortega is in the TV show Wednesday, obviously, and Death of a Unicorn, and Beetlejuice, Butler.
A movie we did on the show.
Exactly. You have Mindy Meeks Martin and Chad Meeks Martin returning. So Jasmine Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding are back. That the nephew and niece of Randy from obviously the first two films. So they have returned. Skeet Ulrich is back as Billy Loomis. He's only in there. He's like the reflection Loomis for the pretty much anytime she's only when she's in the chamber and she's looking at the reflection. She's looking at the original, whatever, the costume. Yeah. Yeah, with the knife. Then you have some new, and also Kirby Reed returns. Hayden Panettiere, who was in the Scream 4. She is now in this film. She is a FBI agent, so she is back. So now let's get to the new people. So we have Dermot Mulrooney as Detective Bailey. He's the father of Tara and Sam's roommate. He is in My Best Friend's Wedding. He's Young Guns, The Family Stone. Jack Champion plays Ethan Landry. He is the friend of, he's the roommate of Chad. We'll get to who they all really are, which I'm sure eventually. He plays Spider-Man in the Avatar films. Like, have you watched the new ones, the new Avatars?
No.
Okay. So in Avatar Way of the Water and the new one Fire and Ash, which I haven't watched, he's a character who is a human who lives with the family of whatever.
Oh, okay. I know of his character. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of his character because he's like, he wants to be like them. So he runs like them. He tries to, you know what I mean? Like I'm not a fan. But anyways, he's Josh Segarra as Danny Brackett. He is the hot guy across the hall, across Sam is hooking up with. Yep. He's Butler knows from the TV show Arrow. Yep. He's also got guest spots in the TV show Elementary for those out there. Liana Liberto as Quinn Bailey. She is obviously the aforementioned daughter of Detective Bailey and the roommate of Sam and Tara. She's in If I Stay and Totally Killer, which is actually a pretty decent. I think I put it on the list because it's a decent Prime Video movie. And then you have people you've probably seen. You've seen Samara Weaving. She plays the girl in the beginning that gets murdered. Tony Revolori, who plays the kid who kills her. He's trying, he's in you probably know him from the Spider-Man series, the new one. Yeah. And then Henry Sersney plays the doctor. He's there for a little bit, gets stabbed in the face, gets stabbed through the cheek in this one. But he's there because he's in Ready or Not. And I know he's they obviously the same directing crew, so they're all friends and whatnot.
That's why they got Samara Weaving.
Exactly. And then we can get to the other people. We can get to Mindy's girlfriend, Anika, who's played by Devin Dakota. She's in there briefly just to get slashed up, obviously. So if you've been following along, Butler had not seen these Screams. He's obviously a newbie to this, and I know he was digging them all. And I was always wary of 5 and 6 because 5 and 6 are not the strongest for me. But you did like 5, so that was good. What do you think of 6, man?
I still like it. I think it might be one of the weakest of them. But I still like. I came out of it going, I think I like this the least, or up there with the least. But I still really like a lot of it. There's still a lot to like, which is like kind of like you said, like you still like all of them, and it's so rare to have a franchise where it's like even the worst one isn't really. Like I still like 3. I still like this one. Like even the weakest ones are still such a step above most other generic slashers, like we talk about. So I still like it. It just goes off the rails at the end. It just gets really kooky, which with time I might like more or like less. But it is the first one where I got the killer right away. Really? The main killer right away. I did not know who the killer was in this originally. Yeah, I like a lot of it. I think Melissa Barrera does a much better job as Sam, and that might be the writing is just better. We've, like you said, it might have been that we were just thrust into this conflict within her and this relationship, and we didn't know them before it happened. And in this one, because we've now had time, I think the character, Sam's character, is so much stronger than it was in the first one. I thought that was they did a much better job with that. There's questionable logic with the killers and the survivors. I like that they threw Kirby in there, but her character kind of doesn't make a lot of sense either. Some of the things she does and says. So it's a mixed bag in terms of that. And Gale definitely seems thrown in there, which I'm sure we'll get into Gale. Gale is just like, Gale had no reason to be in this film.
No,
other than that she's in this film. But I think overall, I still really liked it. It was still really enjoyable. I think they upped the comedy from the last one. There were a lot of moments, usually mostly between the Meek siblings, that I thought were really good. So yeah, it's a weak installment, but still, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did it change for you? Because I know you seem to be kind of down on this one. Did your rewatch now kind of go up a notch, or kind of stayed the same?
I mean, I think it stayed the same. It wasn't. It's not that it's still fine to watch. I mean, I like the ending and all that stuff. I like the shrine and all that stuff, and kind of like the killers make sense. It is connected to their story, so they're not connected to Sidney Prescott. They are connected to the Carpenters, their story from the fifth one. So it does kind of lead from the fifth one. But the biggest thing that I recognized in this watch, and when you talked about comparing it of the series, the reason why I put 3 ahead of this film is because this film doesn't really deal with the meta, with this, like what Scream's known for, obviously for mystery, but also it's also known for kind of playing with where modern horror is at the time, and kind of, referencing it. And they do have a couple scenes here, like the beginning with the teacher, the film teacher is played by Samara Weaving and all that stuff. They kind of do it there. They do have it with Mindy when she gives that little speech that they're in a franchise and all that stuff. But then that's it. That's kind of the only thing. It's not really baked within the story. Whereas in 3, that's throughout the story. The whole fact that they're shooting a movie within a movie about the first movie, so in terms of what Scream's known for, I don't think 6 doesn't really kind of tap into that. What 6 does is continue the story from the 5th film, and so this is not a knock, but like, when you know who the killer is, when after the end of the film, when you know what the killer is, it makes complete sense in the beginning of the movie when she gets killed, or when the kid gets killed, and he's like, and the guy's like, who gives a what about movies? Yeah. That makes sense because he doesn't care, because he doesn't care, because that's not why he's doing any of this. So you have your killers are motivated by a different way. That, like with 2, with Debbie Salt, she was obviously motivated by revenge, to revenge the death of her son, but she was partnered with a film geek, so he was bringing all that film geek stuff into this. And this one, the 3 of these people, the daughter, the son, and the father, don't have that at all. So they're just there to avenge their brother's death. So it makes sense within the story, but it doesn't really tap into what makes Scream great.
I agree. I think one of my issues is I love what's the character's Mindy, right? Mindy Meeks.
Yeah.
Mindy's whole spiel about, we're in a franchise and stuff. I love her character. I love her character's energy. I love that she's trying to solve it, and she's like, I got it wrong again, and she's all pissed at herself. She's really trying to bring that Randy energy, which I think is awesome. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't fit because she starts talking about franchise rules. And as an audience, we already know, it's already established from the very beginning that this Ghostface doesn't care about movies. He is not motivated in the same way that that Randy was, that Wesley was, that who was 4? Jill. Jill is, and Rory Culkin's character were like, he is the only one not motivated by movies. So what is the point of this franchise speech other than to be meta for meta's sake, which hasn't been Scream's thing? The meta is part of the plot. It's part of the DNA. And so while I loved her speech, it just seemed to not have anything to do with this film. And I think that's maybe where this movie loses some of that energy. I think you could have the killer, like maybe one of his kids, like we're spoiling it. This is a movie discussion, not a movie review. You're going to get spoilers. One of the cops' kids, like maybe Quinn or Ethan, maybe one of them are more into film, much like Randy was. And they loved his brother's home movies or whatever. You have to have some connection to film in it. One killer maybe doesn't, but you had three. One of those three Ghostfaces now could have been into film in a way that would connect that franchise rule together.
Well, just think about when you go back to all the reveals in the last 5, all the killers at some point have a monologue or a speech where they're talking about movies. Billy, movies don't make psychos. Movies make psychos more creative. Scream 2, Mickey's talking about how, he's looking to use the defense of movies made him kill. 3, Roman Bridger's directing the film, so he's trying to relive it, and so they all have motivations beyond just killing. They have motivations to either reenact horror films or to become famous using the template of horror films. This one doesn't have that, again, because these 3 people are not there for that. So you're right. Yeah. So at the end, when they're monologuing, essentially, like shout out to the Incredibles, they are just essentially, you took Richie away and I wanted him. He was my oldest son and I loved him. And there's no, when he's like, there's no bond greater than between a father and their older son. And then and that's it. Like, that's the monologue. Yeah. Okay. It makes sense. It completely makes sense within the story, but we've lost where that connects in the Scream universe. So that's the only reason why it's just kind of okay, it's cool. It's cool to see everyone back and all that stuff. But it's really not, it's not a Sidney Prescott movie. Kirby's in there just to be in there to make a connection to 4. There's a moment where you talk about how Gale shoved in there. There's a moment when they're walking to the warehouse originally, Kirby. Right. And Gale, and there's 8 of them, and I'm like, what are we doing here? What is this? Is this Scooby-Doo? What is this?
Scooby Gang, yeah. It's they're trying to buffy up the characters.
Yeah, and then there's stuff that happens in the movie, but that people just disappear for the sake of disappearing, or they just don't know what to do with them. They get rid of the boyfriend character, the hot guy because they're about to go set the trap.
Danny, I think his name is right.
Danny. They get rid of Danny because she's like, you're not part of us. You're not from Woodsboro. You shouldn't be.
Which
there.
He does say at the end. He warns her.
Yeah. But they get rid of him because if you read into the notes, they had too many people at the end, so they couldn't really put him in the end. But they got rid of him. They get rid of Mindy gets stabbed in the subway, which is a really good scene, and she's gone. And then that's it. She's not in the end at all. She's not there. And then Kirby just disappears with an explanation of he
knocked me in the head. Yeah, he hit me in the head.
So
just to get that standoff scene,
right? So there's stuff that's happening in this movie that just feels like we got to get rid of them. It just doesn't, it feels forced. Like you said before, Gale feels forced in here. There's a lot of stuff in this movie that just feels just kind of forced. And then just other stuff that doesn't make any sense. And the one thing that I think about, and we could talk about it, we could talk about it a little bit, is when they go back to, when they have the core 4 discussion and they go back and they're sitting at the dinner table, and then Danny's looking across the way and he sees the roommate. We think he sees Quinn getting murdered. How is Ghostface in the house? And they don't hear the him stabbing her and fighting to get her, or they don't, clearly he killed whoever she was hooking up with in the bathroom. They don't hear any of that. Nobody had to go to the bathroom at all. Nobody had to walk into that bathroom at all. How big is this apartment? So it's stuff like that whole scene was just like, what is happening?
I didn't understand. So Danny's trying to get their attention, sure, but the Ghostface knows that he's looking at him. Yes. Quinn is in on it. Ghostface clearly doesn't kill Quinn.
He's her brother.
Yeah. Ghostface kills Quinn, quote unquote, but doesn't really kill Quinn. The dad, whose name I forget,
Detective Bailey.
Detective Bailey put another body in there. A, how did he get another body up there?
Yeah.
And B, if Danny is there watching the murders and trying to get their attention, how does he not see that Ghostface didn't really kill Quinn? Is he putting on a show for Danny? I just... There needed to be something where that's explained or shown, because as far as I know, Danny watched the murder.
And then he was able to do a massive airdrop to everybody an image, because that's what he did. He essentially
dropped every single person an image, which is not how that works. Why doesn't just Sam have the image?
There's no explanation. You talk about the explanation where, thank God I got up there. I was up there first so I could swap out the body. Just like, we're supposed to take that for what it is. Like, oh, okay. Well, wait, that seems like you just said, that seems very difficult to do. And you're shaking it off like it's a very convenient thing to do, so. And
how did Ghostface get out of the house, or Ethan as Ghostface, I assume, get out of the house when Tara and Chad were at the front door trying to get in? Where did Ethan get out of? Yeah. Does he have a hidden escape room somewhere? Like, is there a pole that he slid down? We don't know.
Well, this apartment's huge too, so who knows? I mean, like, and if this is New York City, they're paying a lot for that apartment. I'll tell you right now.
Oh,
they're paying a lot. That apartment's that big. They're paying a lot of money for that apartment.
Yeah, that's like a midtown apartment too.
Yeah, I mean, they shot in Montreal. They were shooting in Canada, not in New York City. But still. All right, so I'm sure we'll have other things that we want to, but let's talk. Let's maybe. Why don't you tell me some? I mentioned some scenes already that I really liked, but give me something that you liked in the film, set pieces and whatnot.
I know a lot of people don't like it, but I kind of liked Ghostface in the bodega. I like that he uses the shotgun to shoot the guy. Like, it's weird. At first, when I saw it in the trailer, I wasn't a big fan, but in the context of the movie, it just shows that this Ghostface does not care.
Right.
That he's something else because he wants that revenge. Anybody who gets in their way, they're going to die. So I kind of like that scene. It was intense. He's got the shotgun. It's something that you don't use that makes the Ghostface more dangerous, because he's got to be up close. If you can get away from him, you're safe. But this Ghostface has a gun now and he can blow a hole through anything. So I liked that scene. I liked Gale's scene, even though I think she was forced in there. That whole Gale set piece was pretty good, other than her shooting the door, which made no sense.
But
I like that she fights back.
Let she shoots the door. Through the door.
It's not even a door she can't get out of. That door goes around the house. Yeah. It's not. I thought it was a closet, but it's just. Why are you shooting it when he could have just moved to the left? The entire apartment's open to him. Made no sense at all. But the rest of the scene is pretty good. She puts up a good fight against him. She gets the gun. She starts shooting him. Even when she gets shanked, she still tries to stop him from stabbing her in the face. So I thought that was a very well done scene. And after you watch Dewey die in 5, if I hadn't seen the trailers for 7 and seen that Gale was still alive, I would have been really nervous. Like, oh snap, they're going to kill Gale right now. And I like Gale's last line. I like that, we start Scream 1 with Gale and Sidney kind of hating each other, and Sidney punching Gale in the face and being very much at odds. And Gale, as far as she knows, is going to die. And her last words were, "Don't tell Sidney. Don't tell Sidney he got me. Tell Sidney I was never gotten." Like, I thought that was great, because she doesn't want to put Sidney in danger. She doesn't want Sidney to come after him like she came after Ghostface after Dewey. So I thought that was great for OG fans. Although Gale was kind of shoved in there, I thought that was a great kind of scene for Gale to have.
Well, Sidney was supposed to be in this film, and she had a big part. And because when she backed out, they had to change stuff and rewrite everything. And then they tossed that line at the end. They tossed that line in the movie in the beginning when Gale's like, she deserves her happy ending. And it's like, yeah, but you just said that she's taking her family into some secluded location.
Hiding, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, what happy ending is that?
Every time Ghostface comes in, she's hiding in a bunker, like a panic room for a week or two. Right. All the Ghostfaces get killed.
So I thought that was a little just like, okay. I said I enjoyed the subway scene. We're still talking about stuff we enjoyed. I enjoyed the subway. Cool. That was really well done. The bodega, the bodega scenes, like it's the same thing with the ending that I just talked about. It all makes sense. It all fits within the movie. It's just not. It's like the least screamiest of the screams. You know what I mean? I think that's what that's what people I think are when they say like I don't like it, or Matthew Lillard says it's too bloody. She's with a shotgun. It's like, Matt, it's not too bad. Scream is supposed to be bloody, but it's
right.
It's just, but it makes sense within the movie. So within I can't complain about it within the movie. But when you kind of do a bird's eye view of it and of the whole franchise, yes, it doesn't rank as high as the other ones because of that, but it still works. Right. But again, you're right though. Gale shouldn't even been in this film. I mean, it's good that she's there. You want somebody there, but she really doesn't need to be in this film. There's no reason for her.
You gave it to the next generation after the last film, so you could have just let go. I do like the conceit of the masks counting down. I thought that was cool since they have them. I thought it was going to be like I figured the really gross mask was going to be Billy Loomis's. I was like, that's got to be like the first mask,
the oldest, yeah.
Yeah, but I thought like, oh, we picked it out of a trash. Like, but it's part of this collection, a museum, and that's very meta, very Scream, even if they're not doing it for movie's sake, just to have all this different stuff. I like the throwaway line about Stu Macher with the TV. It's the TV that killed Stu Macher. Yeah, if you believe he's dead.
Yeah.
But honestly, that would be public. My thinking was that'd be public info. Like, he's either dead or he's not. The cops got him. He had to have had a trial.
Maybe, yeah. Like, why would they whisk him away?
Parents are super rich, yeah.
Or they change his name or something, or just something like that.
Maybe. So I like that conceit. I thought that was kind of fun. I like the idea of the core four. I could barely understand what they said at the end. But when he goes, how'd you survive? Core four. I was like, I like that. All right.
But to be honest, the twins didn't do anything in the first film. So, I mean, I know that the core four, but all they did in the first one was get stabbed. They didn't do anything. They didn't save the day. So, I mean, they're core four, but they just survived. And I'm sorry.
They have the same purpose that Randy does, to tell them the rules. Only there's no rules in this.
I get you. But Chad must have gotten stabbed 40 times at the end of that film. What do you have get? I'm like, dear God, like, are you terrible stabbers, or you just missed everything vital?
I like that. I like Ethan's line was like, my douchebag jock roommate, whose literal name is Chad. Because I thought that was kind of on the nose anyway. But it's like, you're kind of a douche, dude. Chad was kind of hooking up with girls. Like, he was a nice guy. He was friendly with you.
When they set up the trap, like I said, I like the ending. I liked the location, the set piece, just the machinations of how they were doing it, what they were doing, the fact that she's getting attacked inside the theater and they're at the concession stand, Chad and Tara about to kiss, that they can't hear them. I mean, the concession stand ain't that far away, so you can definitely hear the theater. I mean, you would hear the theater movie going on. You would hear the movie running.
For sure.
That they kiss, they're there ready to basically, like, I get it. You're trying to put them together, but like, maybe let's not do this while you're setting a trap. So I wanted to ask you about Tara a little bit, since we're on the subject right now, because you liked what they did with Sam. And I feel like with the fifth film, you only get to know Tara somewhat, because she's pretty much injured throughout it. She's not really fighting back. She's not really, this is a different situation, her being chased and stuff. Like, yes, she was in the beginning of Scream 5, but what I'm trying to say here is, in that film, she was basically just always laid up and she was injured and damaged. But this one, you get a little bit more of Tara, and I'm curious what you think of her character now, because you do kind of learn some stuff here with her and just how she fared in this film.
I think she did a great job. I don't know if I believe her. They give her that same kind of fighting instinct as Sam, but I don't think that really fits, because Tara is, Sidney Prescott is a survivor, and she ends up getting a gun and stuff. But I think that Tara is not. You only want to set one of them up as a killer, and you have Tara pushing with the brick, going down. I'm going to stab him. Trust me, let me go. And she goes down and gets stabbed in the gut and stabs at the same time, which is a cool scene. But I think that murderous kind of aspect has to be Sam's. So I didn't think that was very good. And I also don't know if I believe that Tara is, like, she plays a great half drunk at the beginning, but she's going to allow herself to get taken by this dude who's about to drag her upstairs, up steps. Like, why did you protect me? I think she's a little all over the place. So I thought Jenna Ortega did a good job. I don't know if I buy her. I think she has too much of a survivor's instinct, the same as Sam. And we're supposed to say Sam has the Loomis in her. So I think that Tara was a little too assertive in what she did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you agree with that, but that's what I thought.
No, I think you're right. I think she's all over the place. I think this is Sam's film, and this is Sam's movie. But and we can get into what Scream 7 was supposed to be if these two were stayed on, because I think what you were setting up here was you had mentioned it, like the original idea was Sam was going to become Ghostface in the 7th film.
Right.
She was going to become so then she would be facing off against Tara. So I think what they're trying to set up here is that they have to beef up Tara's character here and create somebody that could conceivably go after Sam in the next one. But essentially, this is Sam's film, and you have Tara here, so it kind of feels like it's a buddy film, but it's not. So I know what they're trying to do. Unfortunately, that never paid off, and I would have been cool with that Scream 7. I would have been cool with what they were trying to do. What they were trying to go for was like, all right, I'd like to see where that happens, but obviously we're not going to get that. But yeah, so to your point, yes, I think she's all over the place, but I believe that's because the focus with her in this film is for the next film that was never coming.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So I'll just give you some quick facts. Kevin Williamson liked this film quite a bit. So his quote is the movie feels new. It feels fresh. It feels like a new movie. It is a new movie because it has nothing to do with the original Scream. It has nothing to do with Sidney or anything like that. This is the longest film in the franchise. I mentioned that before. This is the first film to get a 3D release, and probably the last, because that fad's pretty much gone.
Yeah. That's actually pretty late for that. The fad was pretty much gone when it came out. That was them trying to get some post-pandemic money, like get a couple extra bucks.
Absolutely. There were actually no props left over from previous films. So the shrine they had to make all that up from scratch. So the shrine is just prop masters going to work, which they did a good job.
They did. I'm surprised that there's no props. Like maybe Scream 1, I can see no one could see it coming, but by Scream 3 and 4, yeah.
I don't know. That's the no. So maybe they had some of the knives. So the window to window scene when they're on the ladder, that was inspired by a movie we covered on the show, Butler, Judgment Night.
I was thinking Judgment Night the whole time. I was like, where's Jeremy Piven? Oh, Ghostface, listen, buddy, let's make a deal.
And let's go back to that scene now, since they escape across the ladder, but Mindy tells her girlfriend to go first, and she's clearly got a huge, massive gut wound, seeping blood. And she's all like, no, you go. And I'm like, it's like, you're obviously going last to die.
Well, I think she knew she was dying. That's why she told Minnie to go.
Gotcha.
Like, I think Akiva basically was just like, I ain't making it. You gotta go. You got an arm wound. I'm dead. Like he got her up the entire torso. Like that's rough.
Well, then let's think about this then. Then isn't the smart play to lay down on the ground, playing dead? Stomach down, lay down, eyes closed, play dead like he got you. He won't know. Like
I always think that in movies. Yeah. But again, when panic's setting in, you don't know. Like,
sure.
I can say that watching, but like when you're in that situation, who knows? But that is one of my favorite scenes in it. And I can't remember which Friday the 13th it was. Jason goes during a sleepover, and one of the boyfriends with his girlfriend has the wherewithal to put his head over the cover and tell his girlfriend to play dead. And Jason actually just walks over them, like doesn't know that they're alive. And as far as we know, he never kills them in the movie. And I was like, that's the first smart thing I've ever seen somebody do to get away from a killer. And it's the only time I've ever seen that. I don't remember which Friday the 13th it was, but I was like, yes. But my thing with the ladder scene also is it's an escape ladder. So Danny's side should at least have the hooks, like grabby hooks. Like it should be a lot. It's not just a straight up ladder. So I was like, that should be pretty secure.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know why he has that. Does he do maintenance or something like that? Like whatever.
I think it's just an extendable escape ladder for if there's a situation. Because he doesn't have a fire escape
window. He doesn't. I
think it's more to go down. But yeah,
I was gonna say then he's living in a building that's not up to code. He's got to have a fire escape.
Like she
how do we
probably
get
would have survived if she didn't have that injury and she didn't hit the garbage thing on the way down. Like it was only like 2 or 3 floors.
That was
it
like
would have hurt, but she would have survived.
That was like added insult to injury right there, right in the head. Oh, I got some reviews for you. Not good. Nah, they're okay. Richard Roper from the Chicago Sun-Times says, nevertheless, off we go on another aggressively gruesome, wickedly funny, and at times cleverly staged scream fest that cheerfully defies logic while hitting all the right notes we come to expect from the franchise.
Yeah.
I guess something I also figured out too, like there's no, well, they do talk about stab in the beginning. See, the 2 kids in the beginning that are the film historians, the film students.
Yeah.
Like those, I think killing those 2 too kind of sets up the whole movie. Like it's not going to be like the other Screams. So, so I get that, but like they don't really, that's the only time you ever see a mention of stab. They really kind of like move away from that a little bit here.
Well, he mentions stab at the end. Bailey goes, should I have let my son get that into the movies? Sure.
Oh, right.
Was I the perfect father? But I also like that it's Richie's like fan films that are played. Because when they're playing, I'm like, even for stab, this looks crappy. Like the stab films look like legit films. Why does this Ghostface have white boots? What's going on? And when they show like, and I don't know if you saw it in the notes, is that footage of Jack Quaid going, hey guys, the Christmas release, I thought I'd put out a video. I know it's been a little while. Is that like Jack Quaid doing a YouTube video unrelated to Scream? And they just took it?
He returned. No. He returned and shot all that for the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So he did it for the film. Yeah. I don't know if he was in any of the videos. I think those are other people. I think he was just shooting them. I don't think he was in them. So the only time you saw him in that, hey, I think that was the only thing he shot where he was on screen. Everything else, I think, is other people. The other one I have is just in terms of
reviews.
Yes, geez. Oily Richards from Empire. Quote, one of the sillier series entries in terms of plot, but still scary enough and funny enough to leave you hoping Ghostface might yet kill again. So he also liked the humor, or she. He.
Yeah. I mean, I like this movie, but I think it's the zaniness of the plot. Just this whole family, one of them being a police officer, is going after all of them. And the fact that like they're just so over the top, which I think is why I knew Bailey was Ghostface right from the beginning. When he goes, do you have an alibi? And she goes, well, I talked to my psychiatrist. I was like, why are you telling him you had an alibi? And he goes, I can switch cases if you want. I was like, he's the killer. And I was like, he's got to be super deranged. So when Quinn died, I was like, he's still the killer. He just killed his own daughter because he's mad about something. And I was pretty sure he was Randy's. Like, I was like, he's got to be Randy's dad or something. And it's like I knew him at the beginning, and then Ethan toward the end on the subway when Mindy was suspicious of him. I was like, this motherfucker's hair looks a lot like Jack Quaid's. But then when he gets stabbed, not by Ethan, I was like, okay, maybe he's not Ghostface. Because why would you take Mindy off the train and get her to a hospital? I don't understand that. He could have walked away and let her bleed out, or followed her and killed her later. I didn't understand. That made no sense at all, other than as a misdirect for the audience.
And how does Mindy figure it out? How does Mindy come running back at the end of the film and like not knowing, what happened? She's like, it's Ethan. How does she figure that out?
Unless there's a deleted scene. Yeah, there's no way, because she just saw Ethan save. She just saw Ethan save her. Mm-hmm. So that's why I don't understand any of that. Ethan could easily have finished the job with like another quick knife wound or something when no one was looking, or just left her there. I don't understand any of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did want to bring up, there's a couple of quotes in here that we talked about who gives a fuck about movies in the beginning. I did like fuck this franchise, which was an ad lib by the actress who plays Mindy, Jasmine Savoy Brown. I did like at the end too, when they kill Ethan and she's like, looks like you're down another brother. It's like, oh God.
I say yes.
That was a good line.
I like that. Tara's line too. You're gonna die a virgin, or guess you're dying a virgin, or whatever.
Yeah, she sticks in the back of his mouth and twists it. He still comes back at the end and tries to. He's still like the killer that survives. But there's a lot to like in this film if you take this film for what it is in and of itself, nothing else. But once you put it in the Scream series, let's transition to that right now, because we are done with our lead ups, and obviously when we have a big series like this, we do like to rank them in terms of our favorites. I'm sure you can guess what mine is. So
yeah, go ahead. Give us your ranking.
So I really like one. Obviously, one's the first one for me. It's the best one, I think. I know everyone loves two. I do like one. I would say it would probably go 1, 2, and then you're probably going. I could swap 4 and 5, Mike. So I could on any given day go 4 or 5,
right?
In that slot, and then I could swap 6 or 3. But I actually, you know what? No, I think this one is probably everything I talked about in this is probably the last. So it'll probably go 1, 2, 4, 5, depending on the day, and then 3, 6. That would be me. What about you?
Okay,
two's number 1 for you.
I'm going 2, 2, 5, 4, 1.
You're giving one. You're saying 1's the 4th best Scream?
Billy Loomis sucks.
Oh God.
So yeah,
that's a hot take, Mike. That's a really hot take.
That's fine. I'm known for my hot takes. I think for me,
really?
I think for me it goes.
That's what you're known for.
I don't know. I guess 2, 4. What did I say? 2, 4.
2, 4. Did you have 3? No, you had 2. No, you had 2, 4. You had 2, 5, 4, 1. Didn't you?
2, 5. Yeah. 2, 5, 4, 1.
I should write
3,
it down.
6.
Right?
Yeah, probably.
2, 5, 4, 1, 3, 6. Okay, and I had 1, 2. I'll say 4 and 5 because and then I have 3, 6. So we essentially, wow. So we disagree on 1 completely, and I think 4 and 5 are close enough.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you that they're pretty swappable.
Yeah, it just depends on what you're in the mood for, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 has obviously Dewey dying, so that's a big moment.
4 is heavy on the meta, so if you're really looking for more of the meta stuff, 4's got a lot of that.
But see, I think the reason why I put 4 first here is because I guess I like original cast better than the new cast kind of thing. I like the original story, so maybe that's probably why. But 3 is just I will say this: if 3 actually did the second killer like they were supposed to, it would be higher. Because I think if 3 did the original version of what 3 was supposed to be, it might be number 1 if they did it right. That was a big miss.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's unfortunate. So we are going to be watching Scream 7. You want to anticipating anything? You look. Do we want to kind of put out what we think it's going to be, what our guesses are going to be, or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, we're recording this Thursday night, so some people are about to watch Scream right now. I mean, I'm sure the first show is at 7. Some people might have already seen this, but I think that my prediction is basically Sidney lives because you already know we're carrying on to 8.
Sure.
My prediction is it might be time to kill off Gale. She survived for too long. Oh, did she sign on for 8 as well?
But to be fair, Mike, David Arquette signed on for this one, I think. So I think he's coming back as some kind of ghost thing or whatever.
A vision. Gale sees visions.
So me saying Gale is in 8 doesn't mean that she survived. So there's that.
Dewey's Ghostface. I do think that there's going to be, I think Stu's going to be obviously a major character in this. I think Stu's going to end up being Ghostface. As much as I would prefer what was it, 3 that they had rumored that Stu was the one directing them, kind of.
That he was directing them from prison. Yeah.
Yeah, I would prefer that aspect or angle, but I think he's just going to be one of the Ghostface killers.
Or
then you get a new guy.
Like Cotton Weary, where they think he's the killer, but he's there to save her, that kind of thing. Like how Cotton was.
That was my original thing, was that Stu was going to be reformed and be a hero. So, I mean, that's what I would prefer, because otherwise you're kind of getting generic, but I'm waiting for Ghostface to be
He might be rehabilitated. That might be why. So you never know.
That's what I would like to see better, because it would be something different in a horror film. You don't usually get that. But yeah, I can't see Sidney dying. Obviously, Mark is going to die, her husband, which is a different Mark, by the way, than the Scream 3 Mark. They have different last names. I think Joel McHale's there to die. You're getting Joel McHale to get stabbed. That's why he's there.
Or he's the killer. But he's 6'5", so you can't really hide him. If he's Ghostface.
That's like you being Ghostface. Oh, which one's?
It's like it's clearly
I think maybe it was Field.
It's a tall guy.
Who in my friends group is Ghostface? Did he have to duck down at a doorway? Well, I think I know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm interested to see if they like the introduction of her daughter's friend group, if that's going to be like, I know it's a Sidney Prescott tale, but is it going to be her daughter's tale and her friends and all that stuff? So I'm wondering like what we're going to get there.
Sure. I know they're bringing back the Meeks twins as well. They're coming back.
Yeah, they're there because they're all in Woodsboro, right? This is back in Woodsboro.
Yeah. Which, why the hell are you coming back to Woodsboro, Sydney?
yeah, just never come back. Yeah, so we will probably watch this. We usually watch this the Monday night after the weekend, right? Because we don't like crowds, which I think
we're afraid of people.
We are. I'm not afraid of them. They're just annoying.
We're just so used to watching movies by ourselves in the movie theater because we used to run it ourselves. So it's like
we got spoiled.
Crowds.
We got spoiled. Yeah. So we'll be watching this on Monday night, recording depending upon schedules, Tuesday or Wednesday night, and then it'll be out sometime next week. So that'll be kind of like our little preview for our now showing. Thank you for following us through our lead up. We're glad that you kind of, I don't know, took this tour with us. It was good to get Butler into the Scream fold, and we've made a fan for life, so that's good. So
I won a Scream shirt just a few minutes ago.
Highly suspect that he will go as Ghostface for Christmas, for Halloween this year, maybe for Christmas. Who knows?
We'll put a Santa hat on him.
But yeah, so I'll let Mike tell you where you can find us, and then we'll close out.
You can find us at ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com or wherever you get your podcast or shows. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, anywhere, rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff helps the podcast grow and helps us know what you guys like or don't like and all that kind of stuff. We have Forgotten Cinemas, our main show, every Wednesday, where we talk about forgotten films that seem to be forgotten by audiences for various reasons. That's every single Wednesday. So check that out. We also have, like we said, our lead up series. This is Scream, but we did Aliens. We did Ghostbusters. We've done a whole bunch of them in the past. Planet of the Apes. Going into our now showings, we do our now showings. We've got a slew of them in March, like a ridiculous amount of now showings coming up in March. So we have a ton of Forgotten Cinema content for you. And if you want even more, we have our Look Back series, which is exclusive to Patreon, where we take a look at big time films and their impact on the industry. I think Scream would have been a good one if there weren't still Scream movies coming out. So we did Nightmare on Elm Street as one of them for horror. And we've got a whole bunch of different look backs down there as well. We just did for this month, we did When Harry Met Sally. So you see, we don't just do horror, we do a ton of different films. So go check that out. And we have a merch store as well. All those links are on screen right now and in the description.
Excellent. So we will see you for our now showing. I don't know what our next lead up is, but you probably said it. I was kind of half listening to you there. Sorry.
I think the next lead up's not for a while.
Don't we do one a month?
We do at least a now showing and a look back a month, but I don't think we necessarily have a lead up unless there's something to lead up to.
I have that we're watching The Martian in March, leading up to
to Hail Mary. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then in April we're doing Ready or Not,
which also makes sense. Okay, never mind. I forgot we were doing Ready or Not too. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see you in terms of Scream. We'll see you for the next now showing. We'll see you every Wednesday for a new show, a new movie, whatever we're doing that week. And then thank you for coming along. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
This has been Forgotten Cinema Lead Up Scream Series. We out.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh boy.